Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MenoLounge. I can't believe this is the last MenoLounge of 2025. Where has the year gone? Wow. I mean, menopause from Hollywood to Times Square just exploded. So exciting. And it's just been an incredible year. So I thought we should wrap with our beloved Dr. LaReesa and talk about hormone replacement for us on an individual basis, not just the industry, but reviewing what we have been taking or consider taking and what do we do to optimize for 2026. So I see her here. I'm going to bring her up right now. Stay. I'm wearing a coat. I'm so cold. It's winter. Is it cold where you are? Hello. Look at
Hi,
you
can you
in
hear
the
me
car.
okay?
I got you. I see you in the car, Dr. LaReesa.
Yeah, I didn't make it to that next stop, so I said, well, let me just go ahead and pull over.
And luckily you're in sunny Florida, so I'm guessing it's warm there. I'm wearing a leather coat. I'm so cold.
We actually started in the 50s, so I actually have a nice little red sweater that I'm being in right now. It was very much comforting earlier, keeping me warm, but now I'm good as long as I stay near some air.
Near
So
some air. Well, Florida,
warming
California,
up.
we're fortunate on all the coasts here.
Yes,
So
yes.
I thought today, before we wrap for the year, we would just have a chat about women who are on hormone therapy. What should women be looking at, based on their experience of the year to kind of review where they are? And then how should we optimize for 2026? Do we make any changes? Do we write it out? What should we be looking for? Because I think from what I've heard talking to women, and I know you talked probably more than I do about HRT, but that, you just like get that prescription and then you don't really talk about it after that, so unless you're having a serious issue. So for those who are just kind of coasting, what should they do about reviewing the therapy that they're on and considering for next year?
I love this question because one, I think I'm gonna start off with I see a lot of women are still on the fence. So making that decision as far as does it suit you?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure we'll touch on a little later about black box warnings and some of the things that have come out with in the news of
That's a
recent that,
good point. On the
yeah,
fence.
yeah,
Right. So
on the
they haven't
fence.
jumped either way.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
jumped in, but I think it's important to make that decision, and be okay whether yes or no, but know why.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that conversation I like to have is to understand why I think women would be bestly suited and add to that educated, informed decision. It's about
Mm-hmm.
informed decisions, personalizing.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you're right. I think the dogma just in traditional care oftentimes is, I can get a prescription for it. We're good. I'll see you next year,
Right.
and that's not true optimization. Honestly, I think that's what helped birth some of this biohacking movement
Mm-hmm.
because people wanted to figure out how their body changed and what they were looking at from influencers or being self-educated themselves and really following other data points because they're probably seeing a lot more on social media than they have conversations with their physicians.
Right.
So in that in between, it became, oh, okay, well, I'll just check in and then, do everything else. And largely based on, okay, my insurance will pay for, I don't have a problem, but my insurance is going to pay for my yearly wellness.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of makes that cyclical psychology that
Mm.
we're trying to really go beyond because that's true health optimization, right? It's not
Right.
a check in drive through give me a number five, right? So it's two different, definitely some different things there. And
Yeah.
then three, going and extending what you're saying as far as, okay, we don't want to forget it, let's check in, let's see, are there potential side effects? Have you started on different medications from another doctor, started on different supplements, or not quite sure where you are in this journey, you know, you never know what can come out just by simple dialogue.
Right.
And it shouldn't be a routine of quit it. And honestly, anything that you start with a doctor, whether it's a medication, whether it is a test that you
Mm-hmm.
need to follow up on,
Mm-hmm.
imaging, blood work, or what have you, I think definitely 2026, make it that, hey, I am going to take that. The future is in the follow up. That's what they tell us in the business world, right?
That's right.
So the future in health optimization is how you follow up, how you follow that key performance indicator. We talk about that a lot. KPI. What am I following? You know, exactly when it comes to how I feel. Why did I even start on it in the first place? If I'm on something
Right.
and I'm still like burning up every hour, you know, it helps gauge where you're going, where you are right now. That's a true health strategy.
I love that health strategy. So let's go back to, and I love that you talked about women who are still on the fence, because I'm coming up now a little over a year ago at 59 when I was still on the fence. And I was like, oh, I want to jump in before the 10-year window. And so that kind of scarcity, if you will, made
Mhm.
up, but scarcity, urgency, made me jump. So if a woman right now is on the fence and considering, I think maybe in 2026, I would like to try hormone therapy. What would you say to her? And is it forever, or could she try it and not and stop? Or, you know, because I think those are the things that make it difficult to make the first step.
Yes. I want to go back to definitely understand the why behind it. Like, understand why you landed on that choice. If you're completely going through a comprehensive evaluation, understanding not only, let's go beyond the hot flush. Let's go to, hey, disrupted sleep. Let's go to how I feel. A lot of the symptomatology is not a medical term. It's I don't feel right. That's not a
Mm,
medical term.
right.
You
I don't
know,
feel like myself.
I
I
don't feel
feel
like
off.
myself.
Yeah.
You know, I feel off. You know, I don't have a medical term for that.
Yeah.
But that is the reality of what people can be saying or mention to their physician. And they don't want to be dismissed, you know, of saying, well, that's just normal, just go through it. It's a natural process, you know, of aging. And so if they decide to go on and understand what was the why, you know, what was the informed decision behind it, because that becomes the pretty much the baseline of treatment, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then henceforth, so what we don't know exactly what to tell a woman when it comes to, and this comes at a deep comfort level of being a prescriber and an active advocate in this window of medicine for years now. uh, how long you need to be on it. You know, there used to be some cutoff somewhere up in the sky that people, you know, would pull
Right.
people off.
10
But
years and you're
that,
done, or pull them.
yeah, you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's not definitive, because what we know is that we need to put more money in the research. We need to, you know, follow with more coherent studies that really looks at the diaspora of people that make up, you know, a certain culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not sure. So it's a personalized decision. Do I have women on hormone therapy past 10 years? Absolutely. But I'm looking at it from all those key components of the why, understanding, okay, are we adjusting dose? Are we making sure that as we're looking at evidence of aging and the process of aging, are we feeding your system? Or
Right.
do you have the right supplements? So many of those things come into a decision where, yes, I'm okay with saying I don't know, and if you decided to come off of it, that would be a decision, but we need to do it where it's not cold turkey, you know, because you're gonna feel
Right.
it
Because you're
immediately.
not going to be good. It's not going to be
You
good.
know.
And we know
Um,
many of our favorite doctors talk about they're going to wear a patch till they're to the grave, you know. I mean, and for me, I want estrogen in my brain. I need
uh-huh.
estrogen in my brain.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
understanding your
Absolutely.
why, huge.
Hmm. Understand
Okay.
it.
So, Dr. LaReesa, let's talk about blood work. Let's move forward to women who are taking some form of hormone therapy. Blood work. So I have not had a blood test. I don't know anything about my estrogen levels, nothing since, not even a year ago when I went on. So, and we know most women are starting hormone therapy without a blood test because there's that whole thing about it being a snapshot in time and it's really hard to tell. But what do we do now? Here we are, if we're in it, do you take an annual blood test? And if so, what are we testing for or not necessary?
Let me tell you that that is not only a good question, but that question, well, this doctor said this. Well, this doctor said this. And especially depending on where your social media algorithm lays on this week, you might get a different answer. But guess what? It's literally, it is the picture of anything medical in the world right now, right? Like we have the same debate about vaccines. We have the same debate about many of the traditional things that we promote health advocacy and health welfare. And labs are one of those things where you're going to get a difference of opinions. However, there's still value or valor to whatever those opinions are. So in general, you can choose to do blood work. So I'm going to take it a step further, Julie. A lot of people focus on just the hormones itself, like, oh, should I get my hormones checked? But you know what? The thing is, you need to have regular blood work to check your fasting insulin,
That's
to
what I
check
thought.
your hemoglobin A1C, to see where your metabolic levels go to. Are you having an impact somewhere? Get an extended lipid panel, making sure you understand your cardiovascular risk. So when it comes to like blood work, I want people to take it a step further of, my body is made up of more than my gonads, right? It's made up of more, like to support the brain fully. You want to make sure you have optimal vitamin D, B complex vitamins, making sure you're supporting your gut. True hormone optimization is looking beyond the gonads, looking beyond those things, because you have so many other hormones that are at play that are adding to your picture of longevity, vitality, and you living your best life for as long as you want, bending like me, no lie. I'll tell somebody, for me to just drop down and pick up something, to do that at 80 would be beautiful.
That's
Like,
right.
I mean, that's my goal.
Right.
Because I do it without thinking about it, right? But
Right.
I know at some point that could change. But that's a baseline that I would like to keep. But, not to digress too much, but depending on the approach of how you get your hormone therapy. I was trained in many thoughts of where I was and where I have trained over years, that if I'm leaning more on topical therapies, that there is value of using salivary testing, and that to look out for certain things that may be a little aberrant if I'm doing blood testing. Urinary testing may have some value of seeing how your body metabolizes certain things. And this is specifically talking about hormone therapy. But also remember, hormone therapy is thyroid therapy. Thyroid supplementation or thyroid support is hormone therapy technically. And that is blood tests that you need to do regularly, especially if you're getting changes done to your regimen. So I think the full scope of this answer goes to not only looking at your specific situation, but look beyond just hormone therapy. Look at your body as a whole and that holistic connection of making sure that your system is optimized. And in order for your system to be optimized, you need to do additional testing to evaluate these other areas of your system that helps you work, that reduce your risk of chronic disease, that reduce your risk of getting of cancer, because you're seeing certain trends that makes your body less of a defense system. So there's many other fancy functional tests that are out there. They have their value, but it depends on how much you want to invest in that. But some of the main things that you can get traditionally are still available. And then oftentimes you have to ask. I will say that you have
Well,
to
that's
ask.
the thing because you've got your basic blood panel, and I know there's other things that I should ask for, but I don't always know what they are.
Good
So
point. Good point. So some of the tests that I'm going to put it on Dr. LaReesa Street a little bit,
okay.
but still part of a lot of trains of thoughts, especially where many of the places that I've been having the opportunity to be in and train from some really good people who have been doing this for a long period of time before it became, you know, this moment and momentum. So with that, so let's look at one of the main ones. So looking at a basic lipid panel, you're going to get 4 numbers and some ratios at the bottom. And doing an extended lipid panel is something that I've explored for years, especially if you've had family history of cardiovascular disease, areas of where, hey, I've been teetering between, should I should I start a statin or not? You know, I'm right on the borderline for a while. If you're making these classic decisions, this extended profile goes into depth of what those bad cholesterol deposits look like, you know, what those good cholesterol deposits look like, and looks at your risk factor. Another test, excuse me, and this is, you know, if I'm looking at, if someone had breakthrough bleeding, let's just, and this is a recent couple of instances when someone's on hormone therapy. And I just want to look at their ratio between, okay, the estrogen and progesterone, because they have a uterus in place. And then sometimes looking at that value can make that decision of, oh, okay, not only am I going to do the imaging or decide that I need to do further testing to make sure this is not abnormal cells, like doing a biopsy or something like that, but maybe I just need to support them a little bit more with their progesterone, because for some reason there could be a mismatch or that ratio because I'm interpreting it a certain way. Weight gain, a big one. So someone can have a normal fasting blood sugar and their hemoglobin A1C, which is a measure of how well your blood sugar is balanced over 3 months. But I get a fasting insulin, even though those are normal, mediocre, and it's off the roof, like very high.
Right.
Then that's an early sign of certain things that could be changed lifestyle-wise, medication-wise, so they can be able to release weight a little bit better. So all of those are considered hormone-related testings because they affect in some way of our metabolic health. And that can be very routine. So that is just 3 tests I'm mentioning specifically. There are many more that come in that hut of stuff. But even if you decide not to, sometimes it's one of those where you can go ahead and get a panel and even get your testosterone levels and all of that, and at least know where you lie. Because
you mean like at a just a regular company, not your regular doctor? Because you know,
Good
I'm
question.
trying my testosterone check, but I'm pretty sure if I went to my doctor at Kaiser, she'd be like, "Why do you want to check your testosterone?"
Good point.
So,
I love this question because this is where the rubber meets the road for certain people. So one, you can find a physician that's willing to test and
like
see,
Dr. LaReesa, yes.
right?
Not a plug, but a plug.
Because many
yes.
of the people that, I mean, we follow in the influence world, you know, actively do so as well.
Right.
And because there is value in looking at those. And then I've had patients whom they'll get their testing, or they can buy it. I mean, you can buy your testing from some certain platforms and pay for them directly or what have you. And then they're going and making, like, they're finding out the information themselves. I've seen like a couple of people do this, but you want to be guided by a good provider. You want to be guided with someone that's going to be able to follow you, because you can still keep that position that you have, but you can also get another board of director on the board of Julie.
Your health board of directors, your
Your
HBOD, yes.
Yes. So you can look at the full picture, you know?
I love that. And that's what we talk about, right? Having a team support your journey, and you don't have to just be stuck with one advisor. We can reach out and add on where we need to. Yeah.
Yes.
Really
absolutely.
good. Okay. Can I sneak in one more question before I know you have to go? Okay. So in 2026, should we do these tests around our birthday? Should we launch into January? If you feel fine, do you need to do anything? Or how do you know you're supposed to increase your hormone therapy? I never have. Should
Okay.
I? Do I
Yeah.
need more? Would I feel better? I feel good, but can I feel better?
Once again, you're probably going to get three different answers to this question. So, but that's okay. I'm fine. It just depends on the lane that you're comfortable to being in. So, general rule, and these are just some practical tips because I like to do practical tips. It is
Yeah.
always beautiful to get health evaluations, maintenance, check-ins, whatever you want to call it, like around your birthday, because that's definitely a reminder,
So you don't
right?
forget,
The beginning,
yes.
yeah, the beginning of the year when you know your insurance, you're trying to go ahead and wrap up that
Right.
deductible by the end of the year. Might as well get it then too.
Right.
And then especially toward the end of the year when like, hey, well, let me go ahead and utilize because I might be losing or have not used all of my health benefits. So I choose like 3 times of the year, no matter what, like around my birthday, toward the end of the year, toward the beginning of the year, like no matter what, let me do some check-ins or what have you. I am someone, I used to not test a lot. I tend to have a low baseline for testing now, especially since I prescribe across the board with not only a full plethora of hormone therapy and supplements, but even how certain therapies may offset, like even looking at testosterone. Some people don't know, some people may metabolize testosterone into estrogen. So even getting some of those levels at a snapshot. I've seen women who are apparently not on hormone therapy and they have, elevated hormone levels. And I'm like, you've been menopausal for 5 years. So I have been someone that has started to do baseline testing across the board prior to and before, but then I'm judging. So I'm going back to that why. I'm judging, okay, do we have like treatment improvement? Like, do you feel well? Are we good? Are you still on the lowest dose? Do you have breakthrough? Or you're not sleeping? How's your sexual function, which is really important because you might have to adjust or drift treatment. So getting that baseline and even a comparison, but getting regular tests over time outside of if someone does pellets, then they're getting more regular tests throughout the year. Then it may not be as much, but I tend to like to see where they are at a baseline. So if you're getting at the beginning of the year, I don't see anything wrong about seeing where your baseline is, at least understanding what that snapshot is for someone if they've been on hormone therapy.
I love that. It just feels like something we deserve as midlife women to know what's happening on the inside of our bodies and not have to guess, and also not just saying I'm good, I'm fine, it's good enough. Talking to myself, talking to all of us, because it just feels sometimes like one more thing to do, but we deserve to slow down enough to go inside and just get a double check on kind of how we feel on the outside without being afraid, because I think there's fear sometimes of knowing what's going on the
Yeah.
inside.
And I think that's a big component about even the black box label being removed. Going beyond what does that mean of that being removed in the scope of medication.
Yeah.
But black box warnings bring fear, right?
Right.
So just removing it, and as we go through that process, it does remove a level of fear because there's anxiety around this, and it has existed for a long time.
Right.
Even before the WHI study, there was still some concern for certain people, and it was still like normalizing how we felt, normalizing symptoms. Just, hey, we're just going to normalize everything, because we just got to go through it.
Right.
And now that the dynamics are changing and people are becoming more informed, what I love is that my patients are coming with questions, like good questions.
Patients are armed now, right?
Yeah,
Docs better be ready
love it.
because it's a new day in menopause. Right.
Oh my God, I love it. Like the ones that, that follows some truth there. Yeah. There are some things out there like, where did you get that from? Let me go find out. I didn't know it was out there. So
as I walk into my doctor with a stack full of books, like, here you go. And they're like,
No, yeah, I don't know if they'll like you after that,
I
but
won't.
still.
I don't care.
But I'm interested. I mean, some of these questions are very intriguing, Julie. What are you experiencing? What are you hearing a lot amongst your friend groups, amongst your like community when it comes to these type of decisions, and how they feel about it?
From what I have observed, especially over the last 5 years, but then really peaking this year, is that women are releasing the fear that they had about jumping in to try hormone therapy. They may have to juggle, adjust, go along, try to figure it out. It might not be a slam dunk right away. I was really fortunate. It was very easy for me to add on. But the comfort level is so much higher. That's the one thing that I've noticed. And then the question is, I think testosterone is still out there. Is that for me or not? I think I might add that to my health stack for 2026 to give that a spin.
Yes.
I'll let you know how that goes. But it's exciting to see that women are open to trying it because I just, talking to you, talking to as many doctors as I have the honor and pleasure of working with, knowing the importance of estrogen for the brain and for the heart. Just those two things alone, and the vagina. But yes, her too.
Her too.
But I guess I was thinking we had topical for that, cream
for
that.
Estrogen. It's still estrogen.
But I mean, systemic, getting to my brain so I can think. I told somebody the other day, like, I'm doing 40-year-old work and a 60-year-old brain. I need all the things I can get. Yeah. And in protecting my heart. So to me, that is a reason for women to really understand, does it work for them? And Katie said, amen for the brain and heart, right? And so that's what I'm excited about. And if it works for them, if, their personal situation, take all that into consideration to try it and see if it works. So that's what I am excited about. And then continuing to see how we can optimize without overdoing it. Because I love all things longevity. I love health hacks just as much as all the next person, maybe more like you. You and I love all that. But, we can also just do too much, and we don't need to do too much because just taking care of the basic stuff can take us, and being consistent, eating well, nutrition, moving our bodies, getting stronger. I'm going to do a video about this, LaReesa, but I tripped on Saturday. And I fell. I tripped over a big stack of flooring in a place that we renovated. And I fell straight forward and I landed in a push-up. And my chin didn't even touch the ground because I was like, at first I was like, ah! And then I realized I am strong. Like all of that weightlifting paid off. I just landed literally, got this. And so
that's sexy.
These are right. That is sexy. Strength is sexy. I still have my chin, my teeth, on my nose, like all of them. Dave's like, oh God, where'd you go?
That's a great thing.
But the point being, doing the basic things add up. So let's not forget that, and then not get too far hacking down the road once we cover the basic things. Linda says, can a BRCA2 carrier BRCA have estrogen? That's a personal question. LaReesa, how do you want to answer that?
I'm going to answer depends, because there are many other components to that to safely know that you can. But what we do know is that even amongst most women who have had breast cancer, or if you've, because you mentioned, Kara, not sure if you ever had active disease or ovarian disease or what have you, can still use vaginal estrogen safely. So with that being said, what I want you to hear is your options are not closed. Your options are not closed. So looking at the full picture of the scope of why you would decide to, understanding the benefits and the risk profile. So I do want to say this because I've been having many conversations with wonderful women. And so 'tis the season to be jolly. And 'tis the season to be joyful. Y'all are so stressed out there. Y'all are
right?
so stressed out there.
Holidays are
And
stressful.
holidays are stressful, but you know what? And this is coming from the heart of, this is my first holiday without both of my parents, right? And it is, it is there. It is definitely palpable. When you look at it from a lens that's just different, a different perspective, like I know I have a lot of things to do, but it's just my approach of how I choose to go there. So if I had something that I find myself saying to patients this month is, I can write you a script, I can optimize your body, but it's still your choice to choose joy in this season.
Mm,
That is still hormone optimization.
mm,
That's a mindset shift. That is a personal shift. That is beyond gifts. That is just to still be present in the
mm,
season.
mm.
That's like all kind of happy hormones. Like
That's
I can't.
serotonin all day long,
I mean,
baby.
like snap, snap, like triple snap. Like really. And so that's what I pray for your community and for all the women out there, is to find joy in the season. You are the author of your happiness. So just know that is the best script of hormone optimization you can write for yourself. And that's the 2026 that you need to high five to.
Mic drop. That's it. Enough said. That you could not have said a more perfect, beautiful way to wrap for the end of the year. I hope everybody can find a nugget in what Dr. LaReesa has shared. She is magical. You can see not only is she a brilliant doctor, she has a heart as big as gold, bigger than the state of Louisiana. That's that's what I'm gonna say. So
Good people in Louisiana. That's
good
right.
people in Louisiana. So Linda, yes, sending you big love. Katie, thanks for being here and your questions and comments, and everybody for being here all year long on the MenoLounge. It has been such an honor and a pleasure to host these most weeks. So fun. I look forward to them. I get to learn and share with you all these incredible women that I meet who care so deeply about all of us in midlife. And we have a lot more in store. Dr. LaReesa will be back in 2026.
Yeah.
And make
Can't
sure
wait
you're
for all that
following her.
excitement.
I
Can't
know
wait.
January is going to be fun. Everyone's like, oh, I hate New Year, New You. I love it. I think it's fun. Like, why not? A
Yeah.
chance to optimize. There's that word. Reinvent. Have fun. Oh, you're welcome, Auntie Sabrina. So follow Dr. LaReesa.
Yes.
DM her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. At Dr. LaReesa on Instagram, and go to my site, thrivebeyondwellness.com, and sign up for getting, our emails. And the ones that are coming out now are this is my walk through the 14 days of Christmas, or really the 12 days of Christmas, but we're dropping 14 hallmarks of aging holiday style. And so the first group came out today. You can see part of that in the social group, but yeah, I've enjoyed putting that together. That's been
Always fun. Always fun.
Yes.
And let's just remember your best advice, that joy. We can choose joy. That's our best hormone.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Dr. LaReesa, love you.
Right. Love you, Julie. Have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Christmas
Happy Hanukkah, all the good stuff to everyone.
All the things. Happy holidays. All right. Bye.
2026.